Hi guys, Happy New Year 2022. It's Honey here, and you might hear already in the beginning that my voice is sounding crappy. And yes, I'm currently having COVID and I'm isolated. Now, I don't know, 5 days in, maybe more. Lost counts already. So that's why I'm not showing my face today, because trust me, you don't want to be looking at that. Hope you can bear with my voice. But today I decided to do a video because once again I was inspired by Lennan Smith, and this is a classic Anna style Unasked VR to Lennan's latest video, tools and things for the coming year of 2022. And before we jump into the tarot decks, books and things for this coming year, I'll just quickly try to wrap up the year of 2021. And under this little table broom peeks the Hermit, which was my card for 2021. As if it's always hard to imagine when you start a new year. Like I did last year, I was trying to figure out what would be all the things that Hermit would bring to me. And now, when the year has passed, I truly know. And I think many of you might also have good clues if you've been watching my channel the last year. And I think for me the year was more represented in this card, which is the Seeker card. So the Hermit card from the Witch's Tarot. But I'll talk about more this deck later on. And many things in last year felt like really stagnant to me. Felt more like Hanged Man. But now when I'm looking back, I realize it was just the path of the Hermit or the Seeker. And the path was long, it was dark, walking the paths inside my own, mind. But all in all, there was a lot of growth, even though it was slow. But at least I'm really happy to move on from my Hermit year to this year, to the Wheel of Fortune. And this ought to be getting some movement after all this slow moving, kind of stagnant energy. I expect this year with the Wheel of Fortune card to be bringing change. Not quite sure if it's gonna be positive, negative. I expect both, because that's life, ups and downs. But at least the wheel is a moving card. There has been so much preparation going on in last year that I feel that I truly am also ready for some changes. Some might surprise me, but hey, that's life. Many people like Lennan in her video are talking about word of the year. I've never done that. Not really my thing, but I wish I could share you a piece of music right here. But I will link this video down below. And it is the O Fortuna from Carmina Burana. And this version is by James Levine and the Chicago Symphony Orchestra and Chorus. And to me, this song represents amazingly my card of the year. And well, Fortuna. That's a good word. But enough about the card of the year. I think I would like to talk a little bit about few decks and books at this point. So I didn't get many decks in 2021. Here are just, I think, the majority that I got. I got the Oak, Ash and Thorn when Manuela from Place of Stillness was here in Finland. And I really loved this. And this really feels like an autumnal deck. Then I got a second-hand version of the Delos Tarot. I don't know, it was just one of those decks when I first got into tarot that I saw somewhere, and I thought that it would be something fun, playful kind of little deck. And it's also a nice travel size, and that's why it was traveling with me to Switzerland when we were spending Christmas in Switzerland with my brother, which was amazing, by the way. Then I got Christmas presents from the hubby and my daughter. My daughter got me, yes, Lennan, people really still do this to get focused. And so my daughter got me malachite. And malachite is her favorite crystal, so I think it was adorable that she went and ordered me a malachite from Tarot with her own money. And that's why this stone is such a special little thing. But also the hubby got my Christmas presents from Tarot. I guess my family knows me. And he got me this Il Meneghello Tarocco Marsiglia Svizzero. So, a Swiss version kind of the Marseille deck. And I think this deck represents my 2020 for when it comes to tarot. I'm going to be focusing a lot on the Marseille system and work with my Marseille decks. This is going to be one of them, and also my Piatnik, my favorite Marseille so far. But look at this. This Il Meneghello I didn't have to stain, and it is already stained and old looking. The only thing I really don't like about these Il Meneghello decks are the sharp edges. So has anybody, rounded corners in their Il Meneghello decks? I haven't, but I was just wondering, and I don't want to be butchering this. Maybe I can try with the title card. But anybody, please, if you have rounded your corners in Il Meneghellos, let me know how it went. What did you use? Did it work? Because I have a corner rounder, but I'm unsure. Yeah, but it's gonna be focused a lot on the Marseille this year. And the last deck that came in the mail last year, it's the Witch's Tarot, created by Ellen Cannon Reed and Martin Cannon. It's an old deck from the 90s by Llewellyn. And why this deck fits into this video perfectly was that I got it with some help from my little friend Lennan in US. So she was sending this deck from US to me, and it came in a perfect box, unused, with the guidebook. And what's special about this deck is that it's really focused on Kabbalah, which is one of my focuses for this year, to get more out of Kabbalah in tarot. But also this deck has its weird parts. Not only the art is kind of like really specific. I love it. It reminds me a bit about my James Bond tarot in a way. It is old looking, not the prettiest, but still very powerful. But I think the main part is also in the guidebook, how to use the Kabbalistic path with the tarot. But the main challenge and wonkiness in this deck is that it changes the elemental correspondences between the swords and the wands. The swords become the fire and the wands become air. And that might be too much for most of people, but I'm really interested on trying, because for me, when it comes to considering the tools like Athames and wands, I resonate with these correspondences. But of course, when it comes to tarot, I've always used the swords as air. But let's see, it's gonna be an interesting deck to work with. And I don't think that I would use it to read for anybody else. It's more like a study deck, more to just work with myself, work with it more intuitively, learn the Kabbalistic ways of this system. And one interesting thing in this deck also is the court cards. In this, the kings are always winter, the queens are spring, the princes are summer, and the princesses are fall. And there's always the color correspondences, which is, as I said, trickily changed in this deck. So hence, the swords are red as fire, and the wands are yellow, like air. The cups are safe and familiar blue, and the pentacles also familiar green. So thank you, Lennan, for helping me to get this weird deck. And I did, even though it is a vintage deck, edge it in black, because I think it just needed that. Then I'm gonna show you a book. And guys, trust me, I know this is a finished book, but I just can't help but tell about it to you guys, because it's the first ever really good tarot book that is written in Finnish, and it's by Tero Goldenhill. So he's a Finnish dude living in UK. And when we look at the content of this book, even this tells us that it's gonna be amazing. It's really detailed, structured, organized, and the amount of references is amazing. But the reason why I'm telling you, because I exchanged a message with the author in Instagram, and he said to me that they're working on a translation to English. So whenever, and by the way, there's the author. So whenever this over 400 pages of tarot geniusness gets translated, I'll let you guys know. But just in case, keep this name in mind, because this book is like really good. And while I've been recovering from COVID, of course, I've had the time to read. I've been reading this book, and also some lighter reading. I've been reading Diane Fortune's Sea Priestess and Moon Magic, which were wonderful. A bit softer, gentler reading. And also I'm still listening to Diane Fortune's book about Kabbalah as an audiobook. So I got to have some variations. But this tarot book will definitely be my main tarot book to work with this year. Oh, and by the way, the name of this book is Tarot, Wisdom of the Cards. When I translate it, let's see what it's gonna be when it's really translated to English. Then the last tool for 2022 that I'm gonna show you is the Astro Moon Diary. And here you can see the website where I got it from. So at least the way I got this was that I ordered it to my friends in UK, and when we went to Scotland this fall, guys were nice enough to bring this for me. Because last year I just had a regular calendar, so I wanted something a bit more astrological for this year, and this focuses a lot for the moon. It has a lot of text and knowledge in it, which I also like. But then when it comes to the daily parts, you get to see the moon phases. Even though this is based in London, the time difference is easy for me to calculate here in Finland. But you get like the sunrises, sunsets, moon rises, moon phases, and a lot of different stuff about the horoscopes. Where the sun is, where the moon is, what's it doing. Because for me, journaling has always been a bit challenging, but I noticed last year that I've been able to mini journal with a calendar, and that has been really helpful. So I think this is going to be my main tool of keeping track this year. So just for a short recap, what are the plans for this year, for my Wheel of Fortune year? Is going to be accepting changes, making maybe changes, welcoming the flow of movements back into the more stagnated period. There's definitely going to be working more with the Marseille. And one main thing is, even though, like Lennan said, she's not big on New Year's resolutions, nor am I, but I'm not gonna be buying more books before I've read the ones that are still on the unread pile. I'm gonna ease up on the book buying, because last year I managed not to get too many tarot decks. So this year I'm gonna continue that with not getting too many decks and not getting too many books, and focusing on the things that I have. And at the end of last year, I collected in my head the things that I was grateful about last year, even though it was a hard one. I think all of us might have losses in our families and harder times, challenges in the, whole environment as in personal lives. But for me, the blessings were the people, my family, my friends. I got to see all my siblings, even though they all live in different countries. I got to spend time with each and every one of them. I got to spend time with my friends, and I got to stay connected with my friends, you guys over the YouTubes, and all my friends in different countries, the old friends that have always been there. I've made new friends. And what I think I managed really to take the most out of my hermit year. And I hope that the seeker won't be as lost in 2022 as she was in 2021. And in case, if you also have a wheel year coming, go check out that Fortuna from the Carmina Burana video that I'm gonna link down below. And even if you're not having this card, maybe it's worthwhile checking anyway. That is just powerful. And I wish I could have played that song for you. Until next time, bye guys.